Hi, welcome again to this channel. It's 7:38 a.m. East African time from Nairobi, Kenya, and I'm grateful to meet you again. As I explained, the purpose of this tutorial is that we will learn together trying to make Java applications that will run on the web. And it's wonderful for me to meet you today. And today I want just to give you some secrets when you are developing with the NetBeans. Maybe to just give you a small history is that NetBeans was previously hosted by Oracle. So there was the team at Oracle was working on it. But after NetBeans 8.2, NetBeans was given to Apache Group, and since these are two different companies, there were numerous changes. But I may say that NetBeans 8.2 may make your life to be more easier when you are working with Java web applications, because it has some good templates. And for the sake or for the case of parenthesis, which is the JSF framework that we'll be using, it's a JSF UI framework, and when I say UI, it's user interface, yeah, because web application will must have an interface, and this interface will run on your browser, just the same way the desktop application runs on your desktop, the mobile application runs on your mobile devices, that's Android and iOS. So I'll be showing you some easier steps. I know the other time I showed you the same in NetBeans 12.4, and that was Apache Group NetBeans, which forced us to use Maven. I know that Maven and Gradle are not quite simple for beginners. So I will also be showing you how to do the same, how to create a sample web application in NetBeans 8.2. And I think we can still download NetBeans 8.2 from hosted platform. But maybe if you don't get it, you can always contact me and I will send you the specific installation file for NetBeans 8.2. okay, so I'm trying to see whether we can download NetBeans 8.2. yeah, I think it's still available, so I will be sharing the link. It is still available on Oracle website. Yeah, let me just show you where it is. Let me share my screen with you so that I've just searched NetBeans 8.2 download. Yeah, that's what I've searched on my browser, and you can see this link here. On Oracle website you have JDK 8 update 1.11 with NetBeans 8.2. okay, you just click there, and then you have to accept license agreement, and then you'll download the specific installation file for your computer. We have for Linux, you still download .sh. yeah, we have that one for this is for 32-bit and this is for 62-bit, and we have that for Mac OS, which is a .dmg, and we have that one for Windows 32 and Windows 64. So just click on that link and install. So after installing, let me just show you how to create your web application now in NetBeans. So after installing, you can see my screen here. Yes. Okay, fine. So you just go here to maybe you can go through file, new project, or you can click this second menu item here, new project. Yeah, new project to give this comes by default installed in NetBeans 8.2. They are not available in Apache NetBeans. Okay, you can see that it has Java, JavaFX, Java Web, Java EE. Yeah, some others have I just installed myself, but this will be readily available when you install NetBeans 8.2. So just go to Java Web, that is Java Web, then you can select on web application. Okay, the other option is web application with existing sources. This when you are using maybe a project that was created by somebody else, but for us I want you to learn how to create your own project. So just click on web application. Okay, yeah, we just name our web application. I just call it Learn Java Web. Okay, I think I have such an application. Okay, web Learn Java Web. Okay, then click on next. You just select on your installed server. You can see you have Glassfish, you have Tomcat. The steps of installing the server are like in the other previous tutorial. Yeah, so I will not go back to that. Okay, now we come here. We see that it presents us with several frameworks that we can select from. Yeah, we have the Spring framework, Java Server Faces framework, Struts framework, and Hibernate framework. So for us, we said that we are going to start with JSF, that's Java Server Faces framework. Click on it there. Okay, to give you the specific version, you can select the JSF version that you want to use. For us, we'll be using the highest one, that is JSF 2.2. Then from configuration, we will not be changing this. We will be running this maybe later. And our page, we are going to render using facereps. Yeah. And on components, we can see that we have prime faces, ice faces, then leash faces. Leash faces is already wiped out. These are dead project currently. Yeah, the current one is prime faces, which is a UI framework being developed by PrimeTech. Okay, and PrimeTech also develop framework, UI framework for Angular, for Vue, and for React. So you can visit primefaces.org if you are using those other UI languages, but for us we just want to use prime faces. Okay, when you select on that, it may give you a warning down there that JSF prime faces is not set up correctly. You just give it some time, you can see that it has now found my prime faces framework, and then you can click on finish. Okay, yeah, this will actually make your work quite simpler than when you're using Maven. You'll still be going back to Maven after you have done some basics on Java web application development, but I wanted you to have an easier way of starting creating your web application. Okay, yeah. Unfortunately, I can see some warning here that project in home admin. Okay, no problem with that. Let's try again and see what happens. Actually, you can just leave it as the default. Okay, that's okay. We select the same steps we had done. Let's see what happens. The reason why you'll be proceeding to Maven is this IDE is now not being developed on Oracle, but they still have a way for us to download it. Anyway, let's do several things. Let's see whether that works. Adding selected frameworks. Later on I will be showing you how to connect your application with the database and all that, and I hope that you are going to learn more on that. So let's see whether this works. Okay, so our project is now ready. You can see the top mail bar there. You can see the web application 4, which is the name that we just selected. So this is the default page, which is index.html. So later on we'll be changing this page to be our login page. Yeah, but for now you can just maybe give it a different title. Let's give it a different title. Give it any name that you want. I just code it that way. So this will be our login page data. So you say Kaidre. Just put the welcome message. Welcome Kaidre login. Okay, and then you can click on your web application and run it. Let's run our web application. Down here you can see that Kaidre is in this. You can always cancel this. We don't need that Marvin. So you can see that Tomcat is starting. You can see the logs from Tomcat down here, and the application is being deployed now from the IDE to the Tomcat. That's the most important part of your integrated development environment, because it make your work easier. But later on you'll also be learning how to deploy your application directly into Tomcat without using the IDE. So you can see that starting there. Yeah, it's starting, and after that you open through your default browser, or the browser that you have selected. You can see the app here. Let me just put this in the screen. You can see this menu here. You can select the browser that you want to run the web application with. Let's go back to the browser. You can see this is our page. Let me just bring it down here. This is our page. Here, this is our page. You can see it has this welcome, the welcome message that we added there. And you can see that we have a parenthesis welcome page. Just click on it. Yeah, it gives you this beautiful landing page or home page that has content. It has a header, it has a footer, and left menus. So this has made our work easy. It has given you a very good template. So let's do several changes in our code. So we are going to remove this link. Let us remove this link. Parenthesis has item called panel grid. So we are going to use it led us into a table, and the good thing is that we can tell it how many columns you have. So let's have 2 columns because we have the label and the input, label and input. Yeah, that's why you are seeing that you have 2. And then for label, we are going to use the JSF label, VS output label. Then for this will be for, let's say for username, you have a field called username, and we can have value, enter, enter username. Yes, let's now create the input for that. So you can have parenthesis input text, ID, you give it the same ID that for the you have called it username. Okay, and then the value will be mapping it later to Java code, because this will be pointing to a Java code. Yeah, so that is it. And we still have a second one for password. We have a second one for password. This will call it password. So this will be enter your password, and the ID will be password. Okay, that's good. And then from there you proceed to have a button where the user will click to login. So let's create and you create it outside the panel grid, because this will only have one column. You can still have your panel grid, another panel grid to hold this anyway. So let's have a panel grid. Yeah, but this one we needed to just have one column. So you can say column. You can just have one column. Okay. And here we will have our command button. You can use the command button. Command button. Value. Login now. Okay. So that is it. As I said, is that panel grid will read a good table for us. Yeah, so that is it. Let's go back to our browser and try to refresh our page. Hopefully that it has rendered. A lot of work is being done for us. You can see our the values that we just created there. You can see this was the first label, this was the second label, and these are the input text, and this here is our button. So let's just add a title for our page. Title for our page. Let's use a div, place it at the center. Just use a line, say align center. Actually, you can try and align everything to center, see whether this is going to work. Okay, let's have our title. So the one. Please login. Please login below. Let's again try to refresh our page and see how it looks. Yeah, you can see that everything has been centered. Yeah, we want to push this down so that we have the field separately. Yeah, this login flow. Okay, let's just push our button down below by adding a break line after the first panel grid. We can have one break. You can also still have maybe two. Okay, fine. Yeah. You can see now that our login button is down there. So that's our login page. I hope you can see it. That's our login page. And later on, what we want to do is when you click this button, we want it to load our home page. Okay, remember our home page? Yeah, our home page. Yeah, so that's what we want to do later. But for now, let's just have that. And for this one, we also be having an action. Yeah, for now, just point it to blank. Yeah, that doesn't change anything. Now let's go to our Java source code. You can see currently we don't have anything, so let's create a new package. Let's create a package here. You call it com.martin.users. Okay, fine. Sorry for that. So for that you can have our user object. For now, you're just going to create a simple one to hold everything. We call it user. As a Java class, we call it user. It will be a plain Java object, and we wanted to have several fields, which will be private, maybe private int ID, private string, username, private string, same password. So we have our fields. Then we need a constructor. Let's create our constructor. First, an empty constructor. Okay. Then we need getters and setters. Getters are used to access these private fields, and setters are used now to push our data from the UI back to our system, to the database, to the business logic part of our project. So, or you can actually be just right clicking. When you say insert code, it will give you option of what you want to insert. For why you want to insert getters, etc. ID will help you to insert all this for you. Yeah, you can select the fields you want to have setters and getters. Just select all the fields. Yeah, and that generates the getters and the setters. Yeah, you can see that. You also need a constructor with our fields. You can just select all. See, this has been generated. You'll be using that later. Okay, hope you can see everything is ready. And now in your page, this is how you access. You put a hash if you want to access your objects. Yeah, hash, then your project class. But for now you will not be able to view it because you have not marked it as a managed bin. So you just mark it as a managed bin here with the annotation. So you can say managed bin, and for now you will be using the faces bin. Yeah, that makes our beans. Yeah, and then we also need, I'll be explaining this later. So you also need this to remain serializable. You also be using that later on. Okay, then you also need to define the scope. That's for how long should this persist. So this is a login page, so it should persist throughout the session. So it's the session scoped. Okay, so let's go to our field. Let's try now to access our user. You can see now it's available. So what it does, you just take the, if you don't specify the name here, the name of your managed bin up here, you just take the name of your class in lowercase. Okay, so that's why you can see from user, this will be user dot, the field that you want for username, which is username. The other field is so you put a hash, then curly braces, then your bin name dot this dot password. Okay, and now for the for the login, you need an action. Okay, you need an action. So in our managed bin, you can have our action for logging in. So you can have a method, yeah, action carried out using methods. So bar break, to just be returning a page. So it's bar break string. Login user. So return. Okay, you have the other page here, the one that was created for us. So you just rename it to our home page. So you just call it home. Okay, so that's the page you'll be returning here. So we will say return home. You can put the extension or you can return it just as it is. For now, let's just specify the extension. So there it is. If you click on that button, it will return this page. So the login logic will be here. Okay, it will be there. Like checking the user from the database and all that. For now, you are not doing it, you are just returning our login page, and that will be the action for our pin, for our login action here. So you can go to that, you can see it's visible dot login user. Okay, so now our UI is connected to our Java code. Okay, this Java code is now connected to our UI. So we'll be running more of this. Yeah, so after you've done that, I would advise more time for you to just rerun rebuild your application again after you change Java code. For when you change the UI, you don't need to, you can just reload. But if you change the business logic, that is the Java code, you need to clean and rebuild your project, or just run from the IDE. It is going to do all that for you. let's see. Deploying our application. We have successfully deployed our application in this location. To then open our application, let's see. So it is loading the application, you can see. Yeah, this is our page. Yeah, we have leading from this view, but we are not doing anything apart from this view. We are going to get it using the getters. So this is the button that we added the action to load the home page. So you can click on it. For now, no action. You'll be checking that later. So you'll be doing the other part in the next section. So for now, goodbye and see you in the next.